All right, I got a confession to make. For 20 years, 20, every time I saw a bug in my garden, I reached for the spray can. Aphid on a rose? Spray it. Beetle on a leaf? Spray it. Little green something or other on my tomatoes? Spray it dead. I figured that's just what a good gardener does. You kill the bugs, you save the plants, and that's the end of it. And then, one summer, I finally learned what all them bugs were actually up to out there in my garden. And let me tell you, it stopped me dead in my tracks. Turned out I'd had the whole entire thing backwards for 2 solid decades. So today, let me save you them 20 years. So let me tell you how it used to go for me. I kept a spray bottle right there on the shelf by the back door, loaded and ready, like a gunslinger. And to my mind, every bug was the enemy, every last one of them. I didn't stop to ask what kind it was or what it might be doing. I saw legs and wings, and I let it have it. And I truly believed I was doing right by my garden. But here's the funny thing, the thing that should have tipped me off years sooner. It never once got any easier. Every summer, the same old battle. I'd knock the aphids back 1 week, and 2 weeks later there'd be twice as many staring back at me. The bugs always came back, and always worse, and I could not for the life of me figure out why. I just figured, well, bugs are relentless. That's how it goes. Turns out the problem weren't the bugs at all. The problem was me and that spray bottle. Now here's the day it all changed for me. I was out working my roses and I spotted this funny-looking little critter crawling on a leaf. A tiny gray and orange thing. Looked like a miniature alligator, if you can picture such a thing. Ugly little fella. And my hand went right for it, ready to squish it flat, 'cause bug, right? Enemy. But something stopped me that day. Curiosity, I suppose. See, it was crawling right through a whole colony of aphids, and it was eating them, one right after another, just munching through them like they was popcorn. So instead of squishing it, I went on inside and looked it up. And wouldn't you believe it, that ugly little alligator was a baby ladybug, a ladybug larva. And in just a couple weeks of its life before it grows its wings, that one little bug will eat itself thousands of aphids. Thousands. And there I'd been, squishing them for 20 years, dead sure they were pests. That right there, that was the loose thread. And once I pulled on it, the whole thing came unraveled. 'Cause here's what I came to understand, and it about knocked me flat on my back. All them years I spent spraying, the spraying was the very reason I had so many bugs in the first place. See, that spray I was using, it don't pick and choose. It kills everything it touches. So yeah, it killed my aphids all right. But it also killed every single one of them baby ladybugs, and the lacewings, and all the other good bugs that were out there eating my pests for me, free of charge. Now here's the real kicker. After you spray, the pests bounce right back fast. They breed quick, a whole new batch of aphids in no time at all. But the good bugs, the predators, they're a lot slower to recover. So them aphids come roaring back with nothing left to eat 'em. No ladybugs, no nothing. And now it's worse than it ever was before. So what'd I do? I'd spray again, and again. 20 years I was running on a treadmill I'd built my own self. Every single time I sprayed, I was firing my own army and handing the whole garden right back over to the pests. No wonder I could never win the dang thing. So let me introduce you to that army, 'cause once you know who they are, I promise you'll never squish another one. First off, your ladybugs. And remember now, it's them ugly little alligator-looking larvae that do the most work of all. So learn to spot 'em and leave 'em be. Then you got your lacewings. Pretty little green things with lacy wings, and their babies are such fierce aphid eaters that folks call 'em aphid lions. You got hoverflies, look just like little bees hovering over your flowers, but they're harmless, and their young'uns gobble down aphids too. Then there's these teeny tiny wasps. Now don't you panic. These don't sting you. They're smaller than a grain of rice, and what they do is downright wild. They lay their eggs right inside a live pest, and the young hatch out and take care of it from the inside. You ever see a puffed up, crispy little brown aphid stuck to a leaf, looking all wrong? That's their handiwork right there. Down on the ground you got beetles working the night shift, eating up slugs and them cutworms. And spiders. Yeah, I know. But a garden spider is honestly one of the best pest hunters you got out there. Every one of these fellas is working for you, around the clock, and not charging you 1 red cent. Oh, and I can't leave out the praying mantis, sitting there so still and picking off bugs all day long, or the honeybees and the butterflies pollinating everything so you even get fruit and vegetables at all. Now, some folks hear all this and run right out to buy a box of ladybugs to dump in the garden. Save your money. Most of 'em will just fly right off on you. Far better to make your garden a place they want to come to on their own, and I'll show you just how in a minute. That's the hidden world I never once saw. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking right about now. Well, how in the world am I supposed to tell the good ones from the bad ones? And that's a fair question. But here's the thing. You don't got to go memorizing every last bug on God's earth. There's really only a handful of true troublemakers you need to know on sight. Your aphids, your cabbage worms, them big fat green tomato hornworms, squash bugs, a few of the beetles. You learn them few, and you can go ahead and figure most everything else out there is either helping you or just passing on through. And when you're not sure, don't kill it. Snap a little picture, look it up, find out who you got before you lift a finger. That one habit right there'll save more good bugs than anything else I can tell you. Hey, real quick, if this is opening your eyes the way it opened mine, do an old fella a favor and tap that subscribe button down there. I share this kind of thing every week, all the stuff I wish somebody'd told me sooner. Anyhow, now here's the part that surprised me the very most of all. You ready for this one? To keep all them good bugs around, you actually got to let a few pests live. I know. Sounds plumb crazy, don't it? But think it through with me. Them ladybugs and lacewings, what is it they eat? Pests, aphids. So if you go and wipe out every last aphid in your whole garden, well, you just took away all the food for your good bugs, and they'll pack up and leave, or starve out, and then when the pests come back, and they always do come back, there's nobody home to deal with them. So, a few aphids on a plant here and there, that ain't a disaster. That's a dinner bell. That's what keeps your little army fed and standing ready. See, once I quit trying to have a perfect, spotless, bug-free garden, and I started aiming for a balanced one instead, well, everything changed. A healthy garden ain't one with no bugs in it. It's one where the good bugs keep the bad bugs in check. That, right there, is the whole secret. So here's what I actually do these days, instead of reaching for that spray can. First thing, I put the spray away, near about for good. That was step one, and it was the biggest one by far. Second, I plant flowers all through my vegetable garden to feed them good bugs, 'cause a lot of them sip on nectar once they're grown. And it's the little tiny flowers that work best. Dill and yarrow, sweet alyssum, marigolds, cosmos. You plant them, and the good bugs come flocking in. I promise you that. Third, I leave them someplace to live. A little mulch, a few fallen leaves, a corner of the yard that ain't all tidied up, and a shallow dish of water. You give 'em a home, and they'll stick around and work for you. And fourth, when I do get a pest problem that's really and truly getting out of hand, I don't go nuking the whole garden anymore. I go after just that one spot. I'll pick the bugs off by hand, or I'll blast the aphids clean off with a good hard spray of plain water from the hose. Works like a charm. And if I really got to use something, I'll use a little insecticidal soap right on the pests in the evening when the bees are home for the night, and never on the flowers. Targeted, careful. Not that shotgun approach I used for 20 foolish years. And here's the last piece, and maybe the most important one. I give it time, and I mix things up. I plant a whole lot of different things all jumbled in together, instead of one big block of the same crop, because that variety confuses the pests, and it feeds all kinds of different good bugs. And when you first set that spray can down, don't you lose heart if it's a little rough that first month or so. It takes a season, maybe even two, for your army to build itself back up to full strength. But once it does, it holds. And I'll tell you what, my garden has never once been healthier than it is right now. I hardly ever have a real pest problem anymore, because the balance just holds itself together. The ladybugs handle the aphids, the beetles handle the slugs, and I get to sit back with my cup of coffee and let 'em work. Just last summer, matter of fact, I come across a big old tomato hornworm on my plants. One of them fat green caterpillars that can strip a tomato plant near bare overnight. Now the old me would have hollered and sprayed the whole row down in a panic, but this one had all these little white things stuck up along its back, looked like tiny grains of rice standing on end, and I knew right off, them are the cocoons of them little wasps I told you about. That hornworm was already done for, and a whole fresh batch of pest killers was fixing to hatch out right there on my plant. So I just left it be and let nature finish the job it started. The old me would have never known, would have killed the very thing saving my tomatoes. Less spraying, less money out of my pocket, less worry on my mind, and a garden that mostly just takes care of its own self. I only wish to goodness somebody'd set me straight 20 years sooner. All that time, all that spray, all that fightin' and frettin', and the answer the whole time was just to stop fightin' and let nature do the job it's been doing since long before you or I ever picked up a trowel. So if you take just one thing from an old fellow who did it wrong for 2 whole decades, next time you spot a bug out there in your garden, don't you reach for the spray. Just stop and take a good long look at it first. Odds are real good that little bug is on your side. Learn who your friends are out there. Plant a few flowers to keep 'em fed. Set that spray can down and give it one honest season. I promise you, your garden is going to thank you for it. Anyway, that's about it really. Take care now, and I'll see you next time.